Greetings! In this guide, we will explain how to write an academic research paper step by step. We'll cover areas like how to start a research paper, how to write a research paper outline, how to use citations and evidence, and how to write a conclusion for a research paper. But before we get into the details, let's take a look at what a research paper is. A research paper is a type of academic writing that provides an in-depth analysis or interpretation of a single topic based on empirical evidence. With that being said, here are the 9 steps on how to write a research paper. Step 1. Understand the assignment. For some of you, this goes without saying, but you might be surprised at how many students start a research paper without even reading the assignment guidelines. So, your first step should be to review the assignment and carefully read the writing instructions. Specifically, look for technical requirements such as length, formatting requirements, single versus double spacing, indentations, and citation style. Step 2. Choose your topic. While it may seem simple enough, choosing a topic is actually the most important decision you'll make in writing a research paper, since it determines everything that follows. Your top priority in how to choose a research paper topic is whether it will provide enough content and substance for an entire research paper. You'll want to choose a topic with enough data and complexity to enable a rich discussion. However, you also want to avoid general topics and instead stick with topics specific enough that you can cover all the relevant information without cutting too much. Step 3. Gather preliminary research. It's called a research paper for a reason. To refine your topic and prepare your thesis statement, find out what research is available for your topic as soon as possible. Early research can help dispel any misconceptions you have about the topic and reveal the best paths and approaches to find more material. When gathering your research, it's better to skim sources instead of reading each potential source fully. If a source seems useful, set it aside to give it a full read later. Otherwise, you'll be stuck poring over sources that you ultimately won't use, and that time could be better spent finding a worthwhile source. Step 4. Write a thesis statement. Using what you found in your preliminary research, write a thesis statement that succinctly summarizes what your research paper will be about. This is usually the first sentence in your paper, making it your reader's introduction to the topic. A thesis statement is the best answer for how to start a research paper. Aside from preparing your reader, the thesis statement also makes it easier for other researchers to assess whether or not your paper is useful to them for their own research. Likewise, you should read the thesis statements of other research papers to decide how useful they are to you. For example, if your research paper topic is about separating students with high IQ from other students, you'd first ask yourself, does separating students with high IQ improve their learning? The answer, based on your preliminary research, is a good basis for your thesis statement. Step 5. Determine supporting evidence. At this stage of how to write an academic research paper, it's time to knuckle down and do the actual research. Here's when you go through all the sources you collected earlier and find the specific information you'd like to use in your paper. Normally, you find your supporting evidence by reading each source and taking notes. Isolate only the information that's directly relevant to your topic. Don't bog down your paper with tangents or unnecessary context, however interesting they may be. And always write down page numbers, not only for you to find the information later, but also because you'll need them for your citations. Step 6. Write a research paper outline. A lot of students want to know how to write a research paper outline, more than informal essays. Research papers require a methodical and systematic structure to make sure all issues are addressed, and that makes outlines especially important. First, make a list of all the important categories and subtopics you need to cover. An outline for your outline. Consider all the information you gather when compiling your supporting evidence and ask yourself what the best way to separate and categorize everything is. Once you have a list of what you want to talk about, consider the best order to present the information. Which subtopics are related and should go next to each other? Are there any subtopics that don't make sense if they're presented out of sequence? If your information is fairly straightforward, feel free to take a chronological approach and present the information in the order it happened. Step 7. Write the first draft. Once your outline is finished, It's time to start actually writing your research paper. This is by far the longest and most involved step, but if you've properly prepared your sources and written a thorough outline, everything should run smoothly. If you don't know how to write an introduction for a research paper, the beginning can be difficult. That's why writing your thesis statement beforehand is crucial. Open with your thesis statement and then fill out the rest of your introduction with the secondary information. Save the details for the body of your research paper, which comes next. The body contains the bulk of your research paper. Unlike essays, research papers usually divide the body into sections with separate headers to facilitate browsing and scanning. Use the divisions in your outline as a guide. Follow along your outline and go paragraph by paragraph, because this is just the first draft. Don't worry about getting each word perfect. Later you'll be able to revise and fine-tune your writing. But for now, focus simply on saying everything that needs to be said. In other words, it's okay to make mistakes since you'll go back later to correct them. Use transition sentences to improve the flow of your paper, especially for the first and last sentences in a paragraph. Even after the body is written, you still need to know how to write a conclusion for a research paper. Just like an essay conclusion, your research paper conclusion should restate your thesis, reiterate your main evidence, and summarize your findings in a way that's easy to understand. Don't add any new information in your conclusion, but feel free to say your own personal perspective or interpretation if it helps the reader understand the big picture. Step 8. Cite your sources correctly. Citations are part of what sets research papers apart from more casual nonfiction like personal essays. Citing your sources both validates your data and also links your research paper to the greater scientific community. Because of their importance, citations must follow precise formatting rules. Problem is, there's more than one set of rules. You need to check with the assignment to see which formatting style is required. Citations may seem confusing at first with all their rules and specific information. However, once you get the hang of them, you'll be able to properly cite your sources without even thinking about it. Step 9. Edit and proofread. Last but not least, you want to go through your research paper to correct all the mistakes. We recommend going over it twice. Once for structural issues such as adding or deleting parts or rearranging paragraphs, and once for word choice, grammatical, and spelling mistakes. Doing 2 different editing sessions helps you focus on one area at a time instead of doing them both at once. Writing a research paper requires you to demonstrate a strong knowledge of your topic, engage with a variety of sources, and make an original contribution to the debate. Thank you for watching. If you found this video valuable, consider giving us a like as a gesture of gratitude. Until next time.